right, we are back yet again on a Saturday today. You'd think, what a Saturday must be a nice, easy-going day. I have to work today. I work during the beginning of the month, usually from around the third or fourth day before the first. It's supposed to be the day before the first through the fifth ish. But nowadays it's more like 3 days before the first through like the 15th. And I am very exhausted. That said, we are here at day 5. And yesterday was rest day, which was so nice because I was hurting so bad. I'm realizing that I don't really hurt too much at all anymore, just a little bit of soreness still. I do have workout today. So if I'm looking at my exercise schedule, today is chest. No, I'm lying. Today is biceps, lats, and traps. So that should be good. And then, of course, 30 minutes of cardio in the morning, which I haven't done yet. So it's Saturday. Robin is home. Robin is sleeping. We had a late night. I think we're up till around 3 a.m. I had to work at 7 this morning, so I wasn't going to get rid of my plans. My work day was supposed to start at 8:30 today. Things changed, so I had to get up at 7. But I still had commitments that I had to follow through on. So I'm exhausted. I'm totally fucking exhausted. And I kind of need work to chill out a little bit so I can sort of rest. But I do need to do my cardio. So right now it's 11 o'clock my time. If Robin's still sleeping by noon, I get it. It's her weekend. She works really long days. And she needs to catch up on her sleep sooner or later. But I'll probably go in there and get on the bike at noon if she hasn't woken up yet. And then I got to find a good time to lift. It'll probably be closer to like 4:30 or 5. Because I'm supposed to be doing a D&D thing at 6. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I might need to reschedule it. Most of it's built out. I'm DMing a one-shot. Most of it's built out. But, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do final preparations. And none of my players are even signed up in the campaign yet. So it might be a good day to push. And then I don't have to rush my workout, which I wouldn't normally do anyways. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of bloviating, a lot of bullshit. That is to say, yesterday I stuck to my calorie goal for my rest day, which is 1,500 calories. I did really well on it. I did eat later than I want to. I try and eat at increments of 2.5 hours. In fact, let me share my screen. So this is the workout schedule you all have seen. But this is my weight loss tracker. Meal times start at 9, and they incrementally go until 7, and then I have stretch times where if I want to eat a little bit later in the day I will. So I tried to match the stretch times yesterday. Wound up not eating dinner till around 9:30, 10, but I stayed up till 3, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But spoiler alert, you can see it there. Switching back over to this, and man, the transitions are working perfect today. I did have a weight loss result of -1 pound, so it went down, which is great. Rest days usually have me nervous, but if I stick to 1,500, I'm usually okay. I'm okay to go above 1,500 on days where I'm lifting, especially if it's really protein focused, because I feel like I recover better that way. But yeah, I'm very happy I went down. That marks 4 days in a row since we started that we've had weight loss, which is great. I'm expecting to see a day that's flat or I go back up soon, which won't be a big deal. Just got to keep focused and keep moving forward. It does bring the grand total of weight loss up to 9.6 pounds. It's almost 10 pounds down, but like I've mentioned before on all of these, like 6 pounds of that is probably just water weight and having my stomach not be full, which it was when I started. The initial weigh-in that scared me was like at the end of the night where I'm like, at my heaviest. So all that to say, I'm just trying to make it through. Day 5 for me, today is the hardest day for me, because I am exhausted. I just had a rest day, and I just want to stay in that mode right now because I am exhausted. So the discipline of putting myself back on the bike and putting myself back in the gym is like absolutely crucial today. I have to do it to keep this like pattern going so that it's not like an optional thing in my mind. It's just like what I do every day. But yeah, today's a lot harder mentally for me than the previous 5 days were. I had the motivation the previous 4 days where it's like, hey, you hated the number you saw on the scale, so take care of this. And now seeing results, positive results, and being as tired as I am, it's like there's that voice in the back of my head like, just take a day off, like just take another day. And that's how things snowball for me. Some people have the discipline where they can just take an extra day, and I do have that discipline if I've locked in on it, knowing I will get back to it. But today I have to work out, so there's no if, ands, or buts about it. But yeah, so obviously no workouts yesterday, none yet today, but we haven't missed it. But yeah, that is the documentation of how that is going. How much time do I have left? 6 minutes in. All right, let's switch over to share my screen. Oops, I accidentally marked that as missed. It's not missed. JK LOL. But I'm going to go ahead and switch over to share my screen and do my Wordle. Been looking forward to this all day. I used to do these right at midnight. It was the thing I did before bed. I would check it as soon as midnight hit, see the word, and see if I could solve it before 12:01. And nowadays I'm getting more and more tired earlier. So I was like, well, I'm just going to do it when I wake up. So I'm like, I might as well just do it on stream and start doing these documentations. What up, Chunkster? Thank you for joining me. Nice to see you. I have a set of dice that were floating around that I realized I wanted to send you as a thank you for last year's gift exchange. And I, for some reason, thought I had sent them to you. So very soon we're going to get that in the mail to you as a thank you for not just running it, but I think there was someone who didn't get a gift that you wound up getting a gift for out of the kindness of your heart. So expect to see that in the future. All right, let's do Wordle. If you haven't done Wordle yet, spoiler alert, I always start out with Clout, as I say every day. Gets me 3 of the most used consonants, 2 of the vowels, and then raise directly afterwards. There you go. I mean, look at that. It's got to be waste, right? It's got to be waste. Boom. Got it in 3. Got it in, 20 seconds max. Just whenever I do it that quickly and Robin's near me, I'm like, I'm the smartest man alive. And my system works. Like 99% win percentage, max streak of 148, current streak of 83 in a row. You just get all the vowels, the big consonants that they want to give you in Wheel of Fortune at the end. RSTLNE. I do RSTLC. And I think, yeah, I'm very proud of how that's going. And then, last but not least, for the documentary, I can't do connections. The logic for whoever does it is so contradictory to my brain's logic that I find so many patterns that aren't the right one. And I feel like so many times I'm like, okay, I've missed it. I've got none right. But I feel like all my categories connect for like, all these things happened in 1983, or like all these things happened in a December, and like my brain recognizes patterns on a weird level that sometimes line up and I look like a genius, and sometimes I just look like an idiot. Robin is really good at connections. She really is locked in with the people who create those puzzles. All right, and I'm going to do a tier list every day because I really enjoy doing these, and I picked controllers. I don't know why I decided to pick game controllers, but man, I'm excited looking at these. I'm not going to do them in the order that I see them. I'm going to do them in the order that I've used them. So starting with the NES controller, I'm going to put it at B tier because, I mean, it did what it was supposed to do and it did it pretty well. And they were durable as fuck. You could bite them, you could burn them, you could slam them on the ground. And they usually just kept going. Kind of want to boost it to A level for durability, actually. So for me, that I don't see the generations of gaming that came before that on here, like the stick with the dot on it, or the button on it. Yeah, they were the Nokia phones of game controllers, 1000%. SNES controller is S tier for me. I still have an SNES controller around here that I use when I play emulator games. It's got the shoulder buttons, it's got the 4 on the face, start, select, the D-pad. It doesn't have an analog, but honestly, like this one is just so nostalgic for me, it bumps into S tier. What else? Right around that time, PlayStation came out when SNES was still out before the 64 hit. This is the original PlayStation controller because there's no analogs on it quite yet. I'll go with A. I know it's very, very similar, and it had 2 triggers on the top of it. The nostalgia is just not quite there for me. I will put the ones with dual analogs up there, though. That the side-by-side sticks makes like so much sense to me. I think I know only less than half of these. Yeah, I'm 1, old, and 2, such a nerd. Dreamcast is one of my favorite controllers. Personal favorite. And so for me, it's again, is this a list of what's the best, or is this the list of what's my favorite? Because it's bulky, and it doesn't fit most people's hands well. But the memory card in there was essentially like a little Tamagotchi where you could like take it with you and do stuff with it. And it was amazing. I'm realizing right now I don't have a lot of controllers that I hate looking at these. Nintendo 64, I actually really didn't like the design of 64 having 3 different handles that you have to grab onto, so you have to shift your grip. But that said, it's also one of the more durable controllers in existence, and I have like wonderful fond memories of it. So I also have a peripheral of this that when I play 64 games on emulators that I use. This is, I believe, PlayStation 2. Yeah, that one's pretty fucking goated too. Wii was revolutionary when it came out. Those controls were fantastic. And they were durable enough to destroy a lot of TVs when people didn't use the wrist strap, which I do find fucking hysterical. Looking down here, I think this is PS3. Pretty basic, just a repeat. Nope, I swapped these. This is PS3. It's actually going to stay in S tier. PS2 stays down there because it was a rehash of PS1. This one was the first wireless. And then the touchpad in the middle of PS4, which I think was super underutilized by game developers, which is not the controller's fault. The Xbox Duke. The funny thing about this controller is that Xbox, Microsoft specifically, when they made their Xbox division to get into the console wars, they went around and they asked a bunch of people, like, hey, what would you want out of a game controller? And they always said that they were too small. People were complaining about how small the controllers were. So they scaled it, they tested it with like test groups, and they said this is the size people want. They released it, everyone fucking hated it. They despised it. And immediately people started ordering this controller, which is the S, which is the small version, which I still love, that they released in Japan, because people in Japan have smaller hands. So this is the one that they released that they just decided to have be their standard controller. Duke for nostalgia was great, but man, was it a bulky, clunky piece of shit. These 2 controllers do get bonus points, though, because they were the first to have breakaway cables. So if you tripped over it, there was a cable at the very top of your controller that would just snap off and be able to be reconnected rather than drag your console down. I actually had a PlayStation 2 die for that exact reason, so I thought that was genius and revolutionary. But realistically, I think this is where they actually land on there. Chunk says, is it a touchpad at the top on the Dreamcast? It's not a touchpad. That's actually an empty hole that you're seeing in there. And the memory card, because everyone had to have memory cards before, was about the size of a credit card, but like the depth of twice as thick as your cell phone. They were thick boys, but they were like little mini Game Boys, and you could go through a bunch of stuff, and certain games actually had mini games on them, where if you played the mini game on your memory card, you could like level up characters in the game when you came back. I used to play that fucking shit all the time. I skipped over the Genesis controller. This is interesting. My brother had a Genesis. I had an SNES. I was not allowed to touch his controller. And when I finally got to play it a little bit, I thought it was fucking terrible. This one down here I'm having trouble recognizing. So I'm just going to leave it there for now since I can't figure it out. Xbox 360 controller, one of the best controllers ever made. Xbox One controller, just upgraded on that. I like the shape of it a little bit better. And the D-pad, honestly, I think works a whole lot better. I love controllers. I'm just realizing this. GameCube, they finally started to realize you don't want to continuously move your hand to a different handle. Do I want to do another S-tier controller? Nah, I'm not going to do it. Because it's still wired. I'll say that. That's my saving grace. Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's basically an Xbox controller, so there's no originality in the design. But it has 50 hours of battery life on a single charge, which is pretty good. The Wii U gamepad was a good idea, but way too expensive and not nearly as much of an upgrade as they thought it was going to be. And because I worked at GameStop, having to tell people the Wii U is a brand new system and this was only the controller, everyone thought this was the Wii U. Like it was basically a new Game Boy, and those conversations were so torturous. It's going into B tier. In fact, I'm putting it into C tier. It was cool playing a game like Assassin's Creed and having your map on the controller and being able to like leave pins and like leave notes for yourself. Smart idea to take the mini map like off the screen to like free up the HUD a little bit. But man, in practicality, it fucking sucked. Don't know what that one was. And then currently the Switch Joy-Cons. I have never had a problem with Joy-Con drift, but far too many people do. I do think that they're really responsive and they're very accurate in your movements, but the fact that so many of them break prevents it from being in S tier. So my definitive rankings, I still can't tell what this one is down here. It looks like a hyped up version of the Sega Saturn, actually, I think, which I've never used. So I will leave that there. I had a Dreamcast. I had an Atari Jaguar. Don't think I missed any other consoles, but yeah, there we go. We are complete. I am saving this as gaming controllers to be revisited in a future date. Save. Dope. People can mark it as a shit emoji if they want to, and I totally don't argue with anyone else's opinion. But yeah, tomorrow's check-in will be interesting because we'll see whether or not I did my workouts. I definitely need to, but we'll see how it goes. I think I'll be okay. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. By guys, I mean just you, Chunkster. And I'm also talking to myself largely when I do these, so I will be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.